Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well. Today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet a simple backless top. So for this top, we're going to start from the top down. Let's just pretend this is the top. We're going to start from here and then we increase to make this wider. As you can see, it's the most narrow up here. And then as you increase, it's gonna grow wider like that. And then all the way to the side, which is the widest. And then from there, you can just work straight down. This is the yarn I'm gonna be using. It's an 8-ply yarn, 100% acrylic. And it calls for a 4mm crochet hook. So that's what I'm gonna be using. You can use a different weight yarn, meaning a different thickness. So it can be 5-ply here or 10-ply. But be sure to use the hook size your yarn calls for. So we're going to begin with the slip knot. So create a loop and then insert your hook in the loop. And then we're going to make a chain. So yarn over and then pull it through the loop on the hook. That's chain 1. Yarn over again, chain 2, 3, 4, 5. Continue chaining. So you're going to make this chain about 9 inches and it fits around here. It doesn't matter how many chains you make, it's the measurement that matters. So you can be using like a different yarn, a different thickness, it doesn't matter. The goal is to reach about 9 inches. So like I just said, how many chains you have doesn't really matter, but just so that I keep track of my stitch numbers, I'm gonna count how many chains I have. So I have 35 stitches. Each round I'm going to have 2 more stitches. So the first chain is gonna have 35, row 1 is gonna have 37, row 2 39. So to begin row 1, I'm gonna chain 1, and then in the second chain from the hook, 1, 2, I'm gonna yarn over, insert my hook in the second chain from the hook, which is this one, and then I yarn over, pull it through this loop, now I have 3 loops on my hook. I'm gonna yarn over and pull through all of them. I'm gonna mark this stitch. So I'm gonna put my stitch marker in the top 2 loops like that, of that stitch. That stitch is called a half double crochet, by the way. And then in the same stitch we just worked into, I'm gonna work 1 more half double crochet. So yarn over, insert my hook in the same stitch, yarn over, pull yarn up, yarn over and pull through 2. So we just worked 2 stitches in 1 stitch. That's like an increase. So like I said before, we're going to increase at the beginning and at the end of each row so that this piece will grow like that. For the rest of the stitches, I'm just gonna work 1 half double crochet in each of them. So yarn over, insert in the next chain, yarn over, pull it up, yarn over, pull through 3. Yarn over, insert in the next stitch, yarn over, pull it up, yarn over, pull through 3. So 1 half double crochet in each chain until you reach the end of the row. So in the last stitch, you're gonna work 2 half double crochets. That's 1. In the same stitch, work 1 more half double crochet. So that was row 1. To begin row 2, we're going to chain 1. So we're going to chain 1 at the beginning of each row. Turn your work. In the very first stitch, so remember at the beginning and at the end of each row we're going to increase. So that's the chain 1, which does not count as a stitch. That's the very first stitch. In that stitch, we're going to work 2 half double crochets. So yarn over, insert in both of the top 2 loops and make a half double crochet. And again, I'm going to mark this very first stitch. This is just so when we work row 3 in the opposite direction, when we come back, we know this is the last stitch we should work into. So that's the first stitch of this row. When we come back and work row 3, that's going to be the last stitch we work into. So I just worked 1 half double crochet in the very first stitch. I'm going to increase by working 1 more half double crochet in the same stitch. So we did that increase again. From the second stitch, we're going to work 1 half double crochet in each stitch. And we're always going to insert in the top 2 loops. When you come back, this marked stitch is the last stitch we should work into. So work 1 half double crochet in each stitch all the way to the end. And in the very last stitch, we're going to work 2 half double crochets. That's 1. Work 1 more in the same stitch. Make sure you don't miss this very last stitch, otherwise you would be accidentally decreasing. Now that I've worked in that stitch, I can take out the stitch marker. And then we're just going to repeat that pattern, which is chain 1 and turn your work, 2 half double crochets in the very first stitch. Mark your very first stitch. Two half double crochets in the first stitch. And then 1 half double crochet in each of the following stitches to the last stitch. In the last stitch, work 2 half double crochets and then take out the stitch marker. So that is the pattern for the repeat row. You're going to follow that pattern, continue increasing here and here until this thing grows wider to about half of your bust measurement. So I'm just gonna keep working my row, keep increasing on both sides, and from time to time I'm gonna put this piece against my body and see if it reaches about here. So this is what I mean by about half of my bust measurement. So like I said, you keep working like that until this reaches the side of your body. So the measurement of this is 17 inches, which is about 43 centimeters. And the rows measure 4.5 inches, which is about 11.5 centimeters. Again, it's the measurement of the last row that matters, not the stitch number or this row count. I'm just giving you the measurement as a reference. And then we're gonna stop increasing so this edge goes straight down like that. Like I said, we're going to stop increasing, so that means chain 1. From the very first stitch, you're gonna work 1 half double crochet in each stitch. So 1 half double crochet in the first stitch. From the second stitch, 1 half double crochet in each stitch to the very last stitch. So you get to the last stitch, which should be marked, and then work 1 half double crochet in that marked stitch. And then that's it for this row. We do not decrease at the end of the row either. So then you're just gonna repeat this pattern, which is chain 1, and from the very first stitch, work 1 half double crochet in each stitches all the way to the end of the row. And then you're gonna keep repeating that row back and forth to make this piece longer this way. So I continue working that row until this top, which is my desired length. So if you want this top to be shorter, you work less rows. If you want it to be longer, you just work more rows. So this straight edge measures about 9 inches. This is from where I stopped increasing to the end of the row. Again, the row count doesn't matter, the measurement does, but if you want to know, I've done 25 rows from here to here. Okay, now we're at this corner, we're gonna continue crocheting along this edge to make it look better. And when we get here, we're gonna make our first string, and then come back, continue working, second string, come back, continue working to this end. So when you finish the last stitch of this row, you're gonna chain 1, and then we have half double crochet rows here. For every 2 half double crochets, we're gonna work 3 single crochets. So what I mean is this is 1 row, 2 rows. We're gonna work 1, 2, 3 single crochets along this edge. So the first one, I'm gonna insert in these 2 loops, yarn over, pull yarn up, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's the first single crochet. My second single crochet is gonna be in here. So insert my hook, yarn over, pull it up, yarn over, pull through 2. Third one is gonna be in there. So 3 single crochets for every 2 rows. Then you're gonna continue repeating that for the next 2 rows, 3 single crochets again. So when you reach this corner, you're going to do the same thing. 3 single crochets for every 2 rows. So for these 2 rows, 1, 2, first single crochet, second, and then third. Continue working 3 single crochets for every 2 rows. And I'll see you when you get to here. So when you finish the 3 single crochets for the last 2 double crochet rows, we're gonna make a string here, go up across our shoulder. There will be another string there as well. So across the shoulder like that, go to the opposite side, go through these corners, and then tie together at the back. That's how long you need to make your string. So I'm just gonna make a chain. So I chained 150, and the chain stretches to about 48 inches because half of it is 22 inches, so the whole length would be 48 inches. And then after that, I'm gonna work my way back so I can continue work along that edge and then make the other strap and then continue from there. So the stitch I'm gonna use is slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. 1, 2, insert your hook, pull yarn up, and then pull the first loop through the second one. That's 1 slip stitch. Continue working 1 slip stitch in each chain to work your way back. So when you finish the slip stitch in the last stitch, we're going to make 1 single crochet in each stitch. By the way, these are not normal stitches. This is the beginning chain. End of this row, we're going to make another string. So chain the same number of chains you did before. For me is 150. So from here, I'm going to chain 150 and then work my way back. And then continue working 3 single crochets for each 2 half double crochet rows. Work along this edge till I reach this corner. So when you reach this corner, finish the last single crochet, chain 1 and cut this yarn. At the very last, you're going to weave this yarn tail in the work. You can use a yarn needle, but you can also use a crochet hook. Now, this is going to be the right side of the top, so flip it to the wrong side. The edge will look like this from the wrong side. So you're going to get the right string and get it through the stitch at the corner here. Like that. And do the same for the left string as well. Like that. And this is how you're going to wear it. These 2 strings are going to be tied at the back, like that. And then that's it. Your top is done.